Hi, everybody. Louis Balla here at Nuage, joined by Glenn Saunders, the head of Stratus. Today, we're here to share with you our comprehensive insights into the NetSuite customer challenges of 2023. Through our dedication at Nuage, we've conducted an extensive analysis examining over 2,000 NetSuite work packet tasks submitted by our customers. Our objective is to continuously refine and enhance our Stratus managed service offering. Today, we're going to be talking about advanced reporting and analytics. Creating insightful reports shouldn't be a complex task. We're offering advanced reporting tools and expertise to help you extract valuable insights from your NetSuite data. Best suited for Glenn to dive a little bit deeper and delve into the world of advanced reporting and analytics is arguably the best, if not the brightest, gurus on all things advanced reporting and analytics, the NetSuite ecosystem. We'll see what the comments say about that. But Glenn, thank you for joining us, and let's dive into all things reporting and analytics. What are you seeing? What do you love with NetSuite? What are you using outside of NetSuite? What do you recommend when we're starting to engage with NetSuite customers?
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is why people endeavor for ERP systems, process improvements, and things that come along are just kind of natural within the system. But most executives are all about reporting at the end of the day, and I'm a data nerd, to say the least. Probably not as much as others, but I've spent a lot of time digging through reporting within NetSuite and how to do things and where some of the challenges lie. And I think NetSuite does a great job of it out of the box. There's certainly things that can be improved upon. I think their Analytics Workbook has come a long way. We're starting to see a lot more customers want those types of things. I wish they would add some of the other features with what they're, some of the more dynamic filtering, let's say, and just some date time charts and graphs and things that you can do. But it's a good baseline, right? It's a good start. Now, when we start getting beyond the native safe searches and things like that, and I will say one of the things I find interesting is a lot of people don't understand that you can use safe searches on transactions with sublists and make them visible in customer, vendor, projects. You can add them pretty much anywhere, as long as they correlate. But we start to see some people want to mash up additional data, do more advanced analytics, and that's where you get into the Oracle Analytics Warehouse, which, not gonna lie, played around with a little bit, and Power BI. Power BI is fairly low cost. Most organizations, have it as part of their 365 platform if they're a Microsoft shop. So we're seeing a lot of that, and we're starting to build up some capabilities there. And what's really nice is they can just use Power BI, but we can also portlet it back into NetSuite so that it can be visible. So you can have a Power BI dashboard in NetSuite that may correlate data from third-party systems, right? So, which I think is super cool. And I think a lot of more organizations should take advantage of it. I think it's something that so many people have their favorite tool set, their favorite hammer, whether it's Tableau or whatever. And so I just happen to think Power BI is one of the easier tools to use, probably because of my early days using Microsoft SQL Server very, very heavily with writing queries and data and stuff, reporting. But the ability to correlate it again to outside data and then show it inside NetSuite is extremely powerful. And it's fairly low cost, right? So, like I always say, I try to think like I'm in the customer's shoes of how do I get what I need, but I don't need to go buy a Ferrari to go to the grocery store. It'd be nice, but I don't have to buy that. I can make an educated decision around, what can get me there if that's my end goal. So,
and as we look at advanced reporting and analytics, oftentimes individuals, one, don't understand what's just native out of the box with NetSuite, but two, exposing that to the dashboard or individuals' dashboards to make decisions in kind of more of a pertinent fashion. What do you typically recommend as best practice for not only creating the right reports, but maybe exploring and then sharing and kind of defining how a user should interact with the reports on their dashboard.
Yeah, so I think understanding what the data means, what it represents, is very important, and how it's presented, so that everybody's clear on what it interprets about the business. Because that's really all reports do, is there, or analytics graphs, all of that. They're just telling us visually a story about what's going on in the organization. Are sales slipping? Is revenue slipping? Is it trending up? Is COGS? So all it's doing is a visual representation of what the numbers are telling us. So, but how do you paint the story? How do you build the dashboard to tell the story as it needs to be told? And I think that's what we do with our customers. And it really starts from, you got to think of it from a manager perspective too, that they want to interpret the data the same way you do, not necessarily interpret or come to the same conclusion, but the data should be fairly represented across all parties, because otherwise you end up with people making different decisions based off of different views of the same data, which is very easy to do. It's called cherry picking or data distortion, where I can give you a graph that makes it look like revenue is accelerating 500-fold when in reality I shrunk the time, or whatever. There's tons of ways to do that, but so just making sure everybody's using the same kind of storytelling aspect to it is critical on that. I think that's the biggest piece. And again, we talked about this just a second ago or previously in one of our sessions about just a common lexicon across the organization for how we talk about data and what it means. So,
and to kind of the end users who may not be privy to a managed services offering like Stratus, they're trying to learn more of just what they can and can't do with reporting. I think the beauty of NetSuite users is there's a natural curiosity of what's available.
sure.
Where do I get my feet wet? What's the best way to go about that?
Try it. I know that sounds stupid, but try it. Okay. And you're going to hit walls. And you're going to start to approach it from one way, and then you're going to turn around and approach it from a different way. Particularly when we're talking about correlated transactions. So a lot of people don't. So, and again, I'm going to go back to my earlier days where I was writing SQL code and did a lot of database stuff. So correlating and understanding the relationships between the data tables. NetSuite, everything is in one transaction table, which is phenomenal for a lot of things, not for everything. So there is quite a few tools. There's the I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's the record browser, which will show you all the fields that are available in the form. That doesn't necessarily mean they're available for reporting. So sometimes you have to figure out what Save Search has available in its data its data views, which is really what it is. It's a view into the data table, but it doesn't expose everything via that. And then what the Analytics Workbook. And I have a great example of that, because just recently I was trying to build a report for a customer related to kits, which those that work with kits know NetSuite doesn't do a great job of that. It's kind of, and understanding that getting at certain elements of it from the Safe Search, but there were other elements exposed within the Analytics Workbook that said, oh, this is an item and it's a member of this kit. And just sometimes you got to check a couple of places. For one, NetSuite, after they did their last update to the user interface, which was around 2016, I think, they started down this path of normalizing some of the data elements for better reporting. And then I think when Oracle acquired them, they kind of changed tack to get updated from a database perspective, an OCI perspective. But that's where the Analytics Workbook, the Cache 360, the Item 360, they're pushing more towards that's going to be the standard. What I'm really looking forward to is the ability to write your own queries or code to build your own workbooks, which you can do. It's just not very well published yet. And it does require some development, but that takes someone like myself who understands relational databases and gives you the ability to really expand upon what those pieces can do. And that's kind of exciting because then you can create specific views into the data tables that can be exposed via Analytics Workbook. And then you can mash them up with different elements without having all these complicated formulas and case statements to try to bring all that data together. So, but yeah, and one of my first forays into this was when I was an intern, and I was going from my junior to my senior year of college, and the guy that I was interning for, I was an accounting intern. They were upgrading their Profit 21 system. He goes, I need you to build me a order table. I need you to build me a history that ties to the GL for the order table. And I think I spent, thank God he was a patient guy. No telling how long on that, but I learned a hell of a lot about relational databases and how data relates. Just banging my head against the wall, which isn't always fun. And not everybody has time to do that either. And that's where our experts come in. They're like, oh, so what you got to do here is you got to understand the related transaction or the applying transaction to pull the data in, stuff like that. And that's where you bang your head against the wall long enough, you come to us, we can help finish it off for you.
Well, absolutely. And I think that's a nice way to conclude today's series. And again, our journey here at Nuage with the Stratus Managed Service program is really about being at the forefront of innovative, user-centric services as it relates to NetSuite ERP. So our insights reflect a commitment, not just meet, but also exceed your expectations. I want to thank you, Glenn, for joining us today. And if anybody has any questions or would like a deeper dive, please feel free to reach out to both Glenn and myself. Thank you, guys. You have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.